One, two, three, four, five, Big Gun, keep my favorite.
What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. My number 5 favorite tabletop adventure, Star Wars Imperial Assault. What I really love about this game so much is the fact that it really does grab you and make you feel, dragging you face first into the Star Wars universe. And it gives you that thematic feeling more than any other of the many Star Wars games that I've actually played over the years. Whether you're running the game with a DM style player or whether you're using the app to run the game so everyone gets to play equally on the same Ripple side, it doesn't matter. This is going to 100% genuinely make you feel like you're in the Star Wars universe. The miniatures that you're going to be looking at and handling and placing around the board are some of the most beautiful, best 32-inch standard millimeter sized miniatures I have ever seen for Star Wars. Whether you're a painter of miniatures or not, you're going to absolutely love looking at and having these miniatures. From the not just the miniatures of the heroes and the villains, but a lot of great detail also went into work for some of the vehicles and the ATST. It really does show a lot of love. Now, the app that I sort of just mentioned is really great. It runs the game perfectly. I've never seen, had, or heard of a problem with this Star Wars Imperial Assault app. And yes, like I said, it does give you the chance, if you've been running the game, gives you the chance to step down from the Empire. I mean, who really wants to, though? Running the Empire is really fun. And that is my favorite part of the game, actually. But if you do want everyone to be on the same team, same footing, and all of you versus just the game, or in this case, the app's AI, then you're going to absolutely love this app. Being a fantasy flight game, as you can imagine, this is an ever-growing universe in this game. It is huge, it is exploding, it is going on. There are many expansion boxes, there are many hero and villain expansion packs. This system will give you more material than you're probably ever going to play. And if you are a hardcore campaigner, it's definitely giving you enough material to play right through for a really long time. But another really cool aspect of this is you can see this sort of like a Dungeons and Dragons game, in the sense that if you have a player who's going to run the Empire, they can put together any damn adventure they want. So this game is completely compatible to anything you want to do within the confines of the rules. You don't have to just follow the campaign plots and quests. That's great. Yeah, like I was saying, those miniatures, but not just the miniatures. It's everything in this game. From the chits and the tokens, the miniatures themselves, the tiles that you're going to be using to make the board. And I love tile-laying games because it will make things different so frequently and gives you something different to play on. You know, it's like, imagine if Monopoly came with like 40 different boards that you could choose from. That's why I like tile-based games. And the art for the tiles are amazing, just like they are in all the cards. Everything has that style, that feel of Star Wars. And I appreciate that. Honestly, I do feel like if you are a board gamer and you are a Star Wars fan, this is absolutely the kind of game you're going to have to try. Now, this is your wallet and your money. I'm not going to tell you how to spend that. But as far as just playing this game, who knows what you're going to do after you play the game. Maybe then you might want to buy it. But you need to experience this game. You need, if you're a Star Wars fan, you need to feel that tension, a little bit of anxiety, and definitely all that action that this miniature game is going to deliver, making you feel like you are in an absolutely awesome Star Wars movie. And that's why Star Wars Imperial Assault is my number 5 favorite tabletop adventure. 4. My number 4 favorite tabletop adventure, Western Legends. This, hands down, has got to be the most thematic and historically accurate-ish Wild West, Old West, American West style themed genre of a board game that I've ever played. Definitely that I've ever seen or read about or heard about. This takes the cake for all of that. If you're looking for a great Western game, let's start here. All of the characters, I love this, all of the characters that you get to pick, to choose from in this game are real. Real in the sense that they are based on real historic characters who lived and adventured in the American frontier during the 1800s. And not only are all of these characters here, and they are, in a lot of cases, they are characters, no matter how real they are based on, you can choose. You're going to choose exactly how they live their lives. This is a game based on a point system to win. And what you decide to do will earn you points, potentially. So you can follow the life, and you can decide that Wyatt Earp is going to start as a little bit of maybe a shady character, then get into being a marshal. Sure, you can play that whole route. Or maybe Wyatt Earp, you decide, is going to be a rancher and a miner. You can do that too. You can mix that up. And I love the fact that you can take and play as history or make it alt history. That's really fun for this setting. Now, the components in this game, especially the cowboys, the Indians, the bandits, all the characters you're going to get to play have absolutely beautiful miniatures that you can run around this fantastic sandbox game and system of a world. They even have buildings for it, although that doesn't come with the base game. They have to get that extra, but still, it looks absolutely beautiful. Everything about this game, these miniatures, the board itself is made to pop and come alive in such a way that, I mean, even the way it artistically looks, it looks like a map drawn during that time period of the American frontier, the Wild West, cowboy and Indian days. It all looks like that. And this is such a beautiful thing to do and to deliver to our eyes. Because as I often say, if you enjoy what you're looking at, you're going to want to look at it more often. In this case, that translates to you're going to be wanting to get it to the table and play this board game more often because it looks stunning. It does. I enjoy, and this is partly because the way it's set up as a point system game and a sandbox game, but I really do enjoy the competitiveness in this because it's competitive because you're all trying to win individually. There's no helping each other out. Whoever gets the most points, boom, is the winner. But you can do it in different ways. You can play this competitive game, in the sort of leave me alone, let me do what I'm doing, and I won't screw with you kind of system. Or you can actively do things to stop, to hinder, and to hurt the other players. So the two different styles of competitive play are interesting, and I like having them together in this as an option. It makes it a little bit more interesting. In my humble opinion, this is most definitely the Western game you've been looking for. If you've been looking for an Old West, American West, frontier style genre and theme game, I don't think you're going to have to look much further. This is probably going to be your first and final stop. And those are the reasons why Western Legends is my number 4 favorite tabletop adventure. My number 3 favorite tabletop adventure, Return to Dark Tower. Oh, I can't tell you how much. Well, I can, but I don't have enough time to make it really accurate. But I can't really tell you how much I loved Dark Tower. During the 80s, when I was a kid growing up, a teen, I was a kid growing up, having that game, playing that game meant the world to me. It was one of the few non-RPGs that tore me and my friends away from the RPG gaming table for a while. It was this game. This is what we kept going back to, the excitement of it. And now, having this updated, reworked version of this 80s classic has continued to give me a throwback sensation every single time I play it, but also just seeing it on my shelf makes me remember all those old great days. But it's not all about the old system. This new system delivers a game style and effect that I could never have imagined back then. This overland adventure of a game continues to draw me back to it again and again and again. No, it doesn't play the same as the original game. It is its own game. It's completely different, but it harkens back to it. It is literally a great successor to the original game. And the way it plays out is both so familiar and at the same time so new and different. It's compelling. And not only that, but this game is one of the best physical presentations of a game I've ever seen. From the updated version of the classic round board to, of course, the brand new electric tower that's running everything through an app. And that's the thing, this game is run by an app. You have to use the app. There's no app-free version of this game. But the good news is, since day one, Restoration Games has promised us that if anything ever happens where this is discontinued, they go bankrupt, whatever happens that would normally look like it's the end of this app support, it's going public. So as long as there's an online, as long as there's an internet, it's not going to die. And that is a great promise from them that just means the game is going to keep delivering. The game is currently an ever-growing system. Besides the core base game, there's 2 other expansions that came with the original reprinting or re-envisioning, of this game. And since then, a third expansion has been delivered on to the masses who enjoy this so much. There will be more. The promises have been made. Hopefully, once a year, we're going to see something new. And also we'll get to see what gets downloaded through the app. That's going to be new. So all of this together, it comes together. That's what it comes together in such a beautiful, harmonious way that it keeps drawing me back. And honestly, I do like to film a lot of the games that I play, and this is not the friendliest to film, and yet I find myself wanting to play this more and more often, regardless of whether I'm filming or not. And that is a powerful draw, I think. So if you're looking to either recapture some of the feeling of the old game, or if you're a newbie and have no idea of the old game whatsoever, and you're just looking at this because it looks awesome, you're right, it is awesome. Absolutely beautifully made. This game, whether you're an old fan that's just hearkening to return, or whether you're a new fan that's never played and you're delving in for the first time, I'm telling you, you need to play Return to Dark Tower. This game is just perfectly and beautifully made, and that's why it's number 3 on my favorite tabletop adventures. My number 2 favorite tabletop adventure, Hero Quest. So the reissue of this game has rekindled my old love for this title. This reissue is the same game. Everything is the same, with a couple of retweaks. Mainly what I'm talking about is on the miniatures, whether it's the monster miniatures, the hero miniatures, or the terrain scatter pieces, the doors, the tables, the benches, the chests. They've all been updated, and now everything is made of a nice hard plastic that's going to keep a lot longer than the cardboard fireplace did in the original version of it. But otherwise, it plays exactly the same. There's no change in the play system. If you have an old rule book, you could play the new game with that one. That's a huge boon that they've done this without changing really anything. The changes they've made are during down the line in the game with some of the extra stuff, but it still doesn't change the game itself. It's just adding new things that the game never had. One thing this game has always had, and it still does, is a deep run. This game is going to give you a very deep run feeling of an ongoing quest, because that's exactly what it is. And it will keep you and your party, your friends, adventuring for a really long time. And if you pass away, make a new character, jump right in, and continue. As long as there are players to play, the quest, the adventures will be ongoing. And this is also true because of the amount of expansions that they have with this game and that they're continuing to have. There's already 2 medium-sized box expansions for quests and 2 large with a 3rd down the line coming out. And then the mythic tier level that it was reissued with has another 3 quests in it. And then the online app has unique quests that you can only get through the online app. So it's not ending anytime soon. Altogether, this game will make you want to keep playing it. And that's what I have relearned over the years. And the only reason I stopped playing it was because of the number 1 game on my list. But everything else, Hero Quest, those are the reasons why it is easily my number 2 favorite tabletop adventure. My number 1 favorite tabletop adventure, easily, hands down, since I've been a child, Dungeons and Dragons. No, I'm not talking about Dungeons and Dragons board game, cooperative game, fantasy board game. I'm not talking about Lords of Waterdeep. I'm talking about the actual RPG. Now, a few of the games on this list, like Hero Quest and Star Wars Imperial Assault, do overlap with RPG feelings, with intentions, with rules, with mechanics. Very RPG. Now I'm talking about complete RPG style. Dungeons & Dragons has absolutely captivated me since I've been a child and has continued to do so. Multiple editions have been out. Some of them are hits, some of them are misses, and that doesn't matter. If you love D&D, just find the damn version that you love. And don't worry if another one catches your attention or not, because you're always going to be able to play the version that you love. So another reason why I love the game is because as a DM, I can just continue to make stories for any of the older editions that I like. Right now, currently, that's 3rd edition. And I will continue to do this as long as I want because it's my world. And that's the beauty that you get from this game, is to do whatever you want to do in your world. Set it up the way you want to set it up. Hopefully you'll be a fair judge to your players. But this game is ever growing, continuing on quest after quest, and then having the beauty of throwing in personal touches to your characters, families, backgrounds, old enemies, old mentors. All of this affecting the game in a more real-life sensation that you're going to get from any of the previously named board games. Because they can only take gaming so far, while RPGs are the most true sandbox game that you're ever going to play. More than any other sandbox game I've ever mentioned, more than any video game you've ever played. There's no limits whatsoever to it. It's whatever the DM wants to say. Dungeons & Dragons is magical. It's a way to go and relax. Get away from the real world. The real world problems can stay here in the real world, but when you go into your fantasy world of Dungeons & Dragons, it's the world that you and your DM have made. No matter how many wars are going on in the background of it, it's still your world, more than the one you were born into in real life. No choices were made there. But in Dungeons & Dragons, it's open. It is a world of pure imagination, as the song says, more than any other game I have ever played, seen, or heard of. Yes, there are other RPGs, or so they say. It has no limits. The amount of time you're going to play, the overall length, and there are campaigns that have been going on for years, decades even. This is the kind of game that brings me and my friends to the table cooperatively and friendly. The camaraderie of sitting at the table and being part of an adventuring team together almost becomes real, because you're sitting there, you're making decisions, you're pretty much in control of your own fate. Sure, the dice are gonna slap you around or hand you a rose, you never know which. But the decisions are still all yours. Everything in this world is being done, being made, happening because of you or the DM, someone at that table, your group. It's a magical sensation. I have never grown over it, and I'm never going to grow over it. Get over it, grow too old for it. It's a beautiful hobby. It keeps you young at heart more than anything else, because you are actively part of this and growing it. Dungeons and Dragons forever. And that's why Dungeons and Dragons is now and will always be my #1 favorite tabletop adventure.